everyone. Thank you for coming to my workshop. My name is San. I'm a senior performance marketer at Ada Health, and today we're going to cover about how we unlock the user acquisition on the market with influence marketing. Sorry for the delay. There was a little bit of a hiccup with the technical problem, but I think we're going to be fine. This is the content we're going to cover today. Firstly, talk about what is Ada, what Ada app does, and then we're going to talk about our initial UA approach in terms of struggles and workarounds before the influencer marketing. And then we're going to talk about influencer marketing, how we source influencers, and how we did the content approach. And then we're going to talk about how we adapted into the ads and then how it performed. And we will wrap up with the key takeaways. I will leave the Q&A to the last part of the presentation so we can have a little bit of discussion if you want. So quick intro to Ada. So Ada is a global health company founded by doctors and scientists, and our app is a free symptom checker. So you can check your symptoms online from your home with some guided questions, and it's very accurate and it's proven. And it's created by doctors, and it's available in 7 languages and more than 150 countries, and we are free and confidential. And also that we recognize thousands of conditions. We acquire 12 million users so far, and then 28 million assessments achieved. And thanks to our Nika, the ASO manager, we're having an average rating of a 4.7 on the both App Store. What was our objective? Our mission is to provide access to quality care to billion people around the world, so that still half the world lacks the access to essential health services. So our objective is to encourage the people to download the Ada app, register, and try the health assessment. So we had a strategic partnership with some philanthropy organization to drive this mission. There were several markets, and one of the toughest markets I'm going to talk about today is Tanzania. Medical marketing is tough. Maybe you know some of them, but Tanzania was tougher. So our initial approach, I will talk about how we struggled, how we basically fucked up, and then I'm going to talk about how we made some workarounds around that. So usually for the advertising, if you are a paid user marketer, you know all this basics. So on the phase 1, that you show your app to the market, use the main feature with the strong and the concise messages. And then you collect the data, and then you know, okay, maybe we have some reactions from the users through the social or CRM, and then you're trying to understand users' pain points and try to address it on our ads. And then we have more data, and then now we have a user testimonial, so that we were using the user testimonials and some social proofing number to prove that our app is quite good to the market. And lastly, we were using more in-depth data and seasonal approach. So for example, we are a symptom checker, we're trying to tackle the flu and allergy, or some kind of disease that everyone was interested, but it was never tackled. So we were trying to increase awareness around it, and then telling how Ada can help. So those were the examples we were trying in the beginning, so that what you can see, we were trying some localization, and then using some multiple copies and the visual A/B test. And also we were doing some platform optimization. In the beginning, we saw that Tanzania was working much better in the Instagram than the Facebook. But then at the time, Facebook introduced this AAA, so that I had to do this manual testing and then see that how the platform was working better. And then we also did dynamic language optimization testing, because we were seeing maybe English is working better than Swahili version, even though it's a local language, because a lot of people who were quite educated, they are using the mobile, they are quite aware of how to speak in English. And we were also approaching a lot of different concepts, such as major health issues in the country, such as malaria or STI. And we were also doing the direct selling, that normal ads. And we were also trying a lot of storytelling approach. Usually it should work. And this all work in other markets, based on my experience. But then we had this crazy result, the 7%, 10% sign-up rate, and our app is free. And then we were what's going on? So there were the major challenges around the market, mainly. So there was an internet connection issue. And then Google Ad didn't support the Swahili. That was a major issue. And then the limited audience on Google and Meta. So we were thinking maybe online channel are not the only channel we have to tackle. That was our thought. And also our app concept maybe was too new in the market. So those were our workarounds before the influence marketing. So that we were just doing some mini A/B testing, like only targeting people who are connected to the Wi-Fi only, or emphasizing the app is small and the easy to use, and also try to run more static ads because video ads could be like a misleading, or that people don't even finish watching because of the internet. And also we were trying to run ads in English with a short Swahili connotation on app screens. Actually, it worked. Google, the Swahili didn't support, but we were trying to mix the language, and it worked. And then after we were exploring other marketing channels, and we tried Twitter, there was a reason because we researched, and then actually in Tanzania, there were a lot of people who were using more Twitter than the Facebook or YouTube, so that we were, okay, let's try. And it was successful. And then we explore other marketing options, such as radio, billboards, and influencers. And now I'm going to talk about the influencer marketing now. Wait, before that, with all this, we had a very slight improvement, but the growth was never impressive. Our cost per acquisition was really, really, really high still. And what are some hope with our user testimonial, some kind of a the UGC content approach? And because this one was having a little bit higher CVR and lower CPI and the lower cost per acquisition. However, it was only happening on Google, and we still needed to tackle a paid social because this is our channel, we had to do something. So then social media and paid UA teamed up, and then we decided to do the influencer marketing. So I'm going to talk about influencer marketing in more detail. So how we source. So our social media team were focusing on the long-term partnership goal. So we were trying to source only those partners who were trying to do the long-term campaign with us. And then we reached out more than 50 influencers only in Q1. And then we worked with 6 influencers as a test. And then mainly their channels are Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So those are the content approach with our influencers. So mainly we were talking about what's ADA in general with everyone. So that ADA is this, ADA is a symptom checker, blah, blah, blah. And then we were doing this when and how. So more specific case, and then we were emphasizing that ADA can be used in Swahili so that you can check your symptom in your language. And this is a doctor. He was very famous and then trying to deliver the message about the correct health information to the audience. Then we were using him as a kind of a source of truth and talking about some major health issues in Tanzania, such as malaria or the STI. And still, it was okay result. And we were like, okay, what's going on? And we still didn't reach our target, the increased number of our app users. So there were major challenges. In terms of sourcing, we had only one influencer marketing manager doing all the work manually. So there was no tool, no agency support. Yes, I know. Yes, and it was really hard to find the influencer that fit our product and market perfectly. And also, sometimes the email address they have on their platform are wrong. There is a mistake. So you are trying to reach them, but it was not efficient at all. In terms of the content creation, there was a language barrier and the lack of market knowledge from our team because a few influencers were fluent in English, but a lot of time the briefing for the content making was done in Swahili. So we were having good surprise. And then our product is still very new in the market, so we were having a hard time to convey the message so the influencer can convey the correct message to the audience. And also, no background on the influencer fee or any local output, so that was a main issue also. Influencer relationship building. Some influencers only care about the money. They don't care about our product. So then they just do the marketing and then they just disappear. So that was the issue with some influencers, not everyone. And due to distance and internet connection, the communication was really, really tough. Actually, this was the major issue that we had a conversion issue because of internet connectivity. That one-time campaign had a lot of problem because there was a campaign there, but the people who didn't even see it could not even do action, even though there were a lot in their audience. And also, it only helped the increasing the engagement of the influencers, not directing to our conversion. So we were like, okay, what do we do? So those were our direction after the learning. So in terms of sourcing, we were trying to focusing on the key influencer to have several campaigns. And then okay, let's use some agency support to source the influencer. Only we were using them as a kind of additional support. And we were focusing mainly on the health, doctor, and medical hospital related vertical so that the audience were mostly matching. And in terms of content, we were having closer collaboration with localization team for the support. And then we gave more specific guideline topics based on our data and also the research so that influencers have more understanding and then they deliver the clearer message. And we start with the small fee so we don't burn the budget. In terms of influencers, so we were not necessarily working only with the biggest influencer, but also trying to work with the nano or the micro influencer as well. And we were trying to work because of the resource issue that we were trying to work with the influencer who trust our app and they're trying to do something. And in terms of conversion, not just one-time content with influencer platform like a story format, we were trying to do some feed or other type of style. But then we decided to push the content further outside the audience as repurposed as with some UGC content style. So when adapted into ads and its performance, I'm going to talk about it. So we adapted this UGC content, the influencer content into the ad style. So we cut into 30-second and 50-second. And then we added the CTA and CAR at the end, like download data or star symptom assessment. And we show our app screen if there is nothing. And then we add subtitles, Swahili or English, depending on the platform. And also we were putting the ad copy with those clear value propositions. And then we were trying to target beyond their audience. So this is the influencer. He was an entertainer, and then he was working with a lot of big brands, and he was even working with some UN projects. So he was a good one. But still, on his platform, it said he only had 27 installs only. And then we were trying to push our content further through our ads. And then we had more than 2,700 installs in 1 month. And then we had higher CVR and lower CPI compared to other BAU ads. And with this doctor, he had a 0 install because of the Twitter. Because Twitter, when you do the influencer marketing on Twitter, people only react, engage inside the Twitter platform. They never go out of their this Twitter platform itself. So that was the main issue. So that it was good for him, but not for us. Yes. So then we put him into other platforms like Google, even on Facebook. Mainly Facebook, and then actually we had a really great conversion rate, and then 115% lower CPI, and lower CPA as well. She's a dancer, she's a health enthusiast, she's very strong. When you actually hear her voice, she's very convincing. But still, on her platform itself, we only had 31 installs. So we adapted into our ads. We even put it on our social platform organically. And we are having a really, really great result, which was a 2 times lower CPI and then 30% lower CPA with 27% higher conversion rate. And we achieved more than 6,000 installs only with her content. And this is, as you can see, super localized, but he is just the real Tanzanian people. And actually, with him, we had only 20 installs. Only with this channel. He's a content creator, but we pushed his ads, and then we had a really nice result, as you can see, like lower CPI, lower CPA, and higher conversion rate as well. Let's talk about the content. So actually, when we're talking about the what's ADA in general, like a direct selling point, we were having a great conversion rate from click to install. However, when we talk about when and how that can help, for example, this influencer, we're talking about, okay, so you're sick of waiting too long queue in the hospital. How about testing this and then just compare with your doctor or your doctor's assessment later on? And then we had a higher conversion rate to the deeper funnel, which is a finished assessment on our case. And then with this doctor, we had also the same approach. When we were just talking about what's ADA, download the app, we had a good conversion rate from click to install. But then actually for the deeper funnel, when we talk about okay, the malaria is a big issue in the market, you have to assess it earlier as possible. And actually we had a 10% higher conversion rate. This is a meta branding content A/B test I did. So actually we did we set up the two campaigns. One campaign only with the BAU ads, and the other campaign with the BAU with the influencer ads together. And as you can see, when we were actually doing that, we were putting the influencer profile as the main source, and then Ada is a kind of a collaborator, and then so it's a kind of branded content test. And for the one ad group, we were only putting the BAU ads, and the another ad group, we were putting the influencer ad group. The duration was 2 weeks, and then we were having an equal split for each cell, and the KPI was a cost per result. Oh, sorry. And yes, of course, we had a great success with the influencer ads, 34% more reach and the 63% more actions and a much lower CPI, only with the influencer ad. And even between the ad group, we could also see that clear difference in the test. So this was our overall like a yearly result. This is blended. Even organic had a great impact. And then when you can see, we had like a 400% yearly growth in terms of new install. And then compared to last Q3, we had a 200% of a yearly growth in terms of new users. Key takeaways. Maybe I went too fast, but maybe we have more time to have some discussion. So what worked and what didn't? So to sum up that in terms of testing, try 1 or 2 different concepts at the same time with the same influencer. Always one is working better, and just don't give up only with one concept, just try several things at the same time. And then in terms of concept, focus on the topic in which the audience is more interested, because it's influencers, so they're trying to talk. So that it's better to talk about the specific use case, and then to do the storytelling. It's working much better to have a deeper funnel conversion event. And in terms of tactics, do not use only influencer-owned channels, but also try to put outside and then try to target the audience outside their platform. Actually, there is also a tactic that you can also target the influencers' audience only through your ads. But we tried, it was not that successful. But actually, when we used their ads outside their audience, it was working much better. And when we were running in the ads, not necessarily 15-second video is always working better. We know that this is a rule of thumbs. However, with the influencer, sometimes the longer video with the more information and useful information were actually working much better on our case. What didn't? Relying only on influence platform, like I said, Twitter, or just like any other platform, it's better to put it on your platform together so that you have a synergy effect. And also always show your product. Sometimes the influencer forget to show their product, so we always have to come up with some suggestion, or our designer put the screen at the end. But always show your product. It's helping like driving your conversion. And also in terms of sourcing, do not work with just some famous influencer, but try to work with some like influencers who care about your product, because you could have a surprise. Even when you're having briefing and discussion, they can have nice ideas because they know the market very, very well. They know the audience, so they give you the really nice ideas. And try to work with influencer outside your area. Don't do that, because it's better to focus on the influencer whose audience are in the similar like group of interest, so it's better working. And for deeper funnel events, it's better to give a specific use case, like I said. And that's what I prepared so far. Is there any other question? Yes?
What was the commercial agreement with your influencers? Did they charge more to reuse the content? Did you have to get additional release forms signed?
Depends, because some influencer, we were just trying to do some like contract for the period, so that like they had to do it anyway, or sometimes on the content base. So it really depends, yeah. Yes? Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Highest? Sorry, I didn't get the question. Can you? Maybe our influencer manager can tell. Yeah. Yes, 5K, yeah. And that's when we... yes. That's what we were trying to do, but the problem was that so we didn't have any local knowledge or local background there, so that even local agency wanted to scam us a little bit in terms of codes and everything. And we were actually trying, but we just said, okay, let's try the online platform first, and then with the influencer, and then see how it goes. So we didn't try the real PR there. Yeah. Yes.
How do you build relationships with those influencers for a longer period of time, or do you always do like one-off campaigns?
So actually, we have like a 3 or 4 long-term relationship. Yes, and thanks to our influencer marketing manager, yeah. And actually, when we actually see the success of the campaign, we're just trying to convince him also that let's do it a little bit more, and then try with this different concept. And also we give some kind of example, like, okay, we tried this concept with this influencer and it was working better. How about we try this with you, and maybe it works? And they're mostly interested because they are getting paid anyway. So yeah. Yes.
How is it working with payments? Is it a 5K lump sum and then that's it? That's the contract, or are they incentivized themselves to increase the?
So what we did is like for some influencer, we were trying, we were starting with only a test budget, like a super small budget. And then if the first one is going fine, and then they're usually trying to do this one-time content with the Instagram story and then something quick. And then we see that there is some kind of a conversion, and then we're just, okay, let's talk about the contract. And then we talk about the terms and conditions. It's really depending on the influencer. Yes?
Which platform works the best? Like in terms of like Instagram, for instance, Twitter influencers.
For us, in the beginning, it was Instagram for this market. But in the end, after we tried this UGC content, actually Facebook was working the best. It was very interesting for us. Yeah. Yes.
Did you find Facebook?
Facebook influencer? No. So the problem is that actually when we had to work with the influencer and then we want to push their content with their profile, and we had to give some kind of a permission, so they had to accept it, and they didn't know how. They were just like, where can I find this? Yeah, but that was a problem because it was the product was coming from actually Facebook, and then it was kind of integrated to the Instagram, so it was a bit confusing for them. And also when we are connecting their Facebook profile on them, and they always say, I don't want to do it because my Facebook is not like that famous compared to my Instagram. So, but we still try, and it still helped. So, yeah. Yes?
Try this in Europe, this strategy, like European markets?
If we have money. Yeah, but actually this was our company goal objective, to clear this mission as soon as possible. And that's why we were trying this. But actually we're trying to think about doing this for the US later. Yeah. Yes? Good question, and we always get that. Yeah, we are building on it, and actually, we actually have several like a business line, and then one of the line we just launched, it was just like ADA blood test, and then we are actually having it on the website, and then we're trying to integrate it into our app, so we're gonna monetize through this. And also there is another thing, but I'm not allowed to talk about it here, so yes. Yeah,
Basically, you're not monetizing yet.
not yet. Yes?
And we were just discussing, actually, we're sure just clarifying. So when you say you use UGC content campaigns, does that mean you actually advertise on ADA channels, or do you go to the ADA channel?
Good question. Actually, I tried both. And in the beginning, I tried their contents on the ADA channel only. But actually, Facebook wanted me to try this way, that like putting the influencer first and then to this. And we were comparing. Actually, it was working much better on the second phase. But to be honest, for some influencer, there was not a huge difference. Yeah. So actually, and then after some influencer, after they run the campaign for 1 or 2 weeks, they just removed the permission. And we had to go through this progress, and I was like, okay, let's just run it under our name. Anyway, it's out there. So yeah, we were working that way. Yes?
Since you mentioned that ADA app is a free app for the customer, and how do the ADA make the money or make a profit?
Yeah, she made a just point just before that we are building on it. Yes. Yes. Do you have any other questions? Or you want to talk about your experience with influencers? Yeah, but for us, it was the main issue was this language problem and also the internet connection. That was the really hard, that we cannot do anything. Yes?
Did you try or are you planning to try on TikTok?
Good question. We were trying, we were thinking because we are medical content and we are highly restricted. So medical marketing itself is really restricted, but are trying to see if the TikTok is a good fit in the end. Because if we put it, maybe we just fuck up our business. Yes, so we were trying not to do that. So we're just saying, but we were actually trying to do that, but somehow our audience is a bit older. And that time, when we were trying to think about launch the TikTok, the audience was still very young. And then we were just trying to do maybe when this is more mature. But I think TikTok is more mature right now.
Was this happening? Sorry. When did you launch the campaign?
We didn't launch. Yeah, we didn't do the TikTok. Yeah.
No, not the TikTok, the Instagram and Facebook and all the stuff that you did. When was it? Because I was
This year.
this year.
Yes. But this project has been 2 years. So 1 year of a UA with an influencer, and then we implemented UA this year. Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of medical content on TikTok.
Good.
The last year.
Good.
So that's why I was surprised when you said that it wasn't all enough for audience.
Yeah, and then also, all our marketer in this team that we are always fighting with the legal team, and even improving the platform additionally is also really hassle internally. Yeah.
The marketing backend is
Yes.
frustrating.
I think it's also because you focus on a specific market. So Tanzania is not the most, like they are not so interested in TikTok, at least at the moment.
Yes.
We found a Maasai with the internet connection.
Yeah, but the problem, like if you want to watch more videos, you need like better internet connection.
Yes.
So that's what's really
Yeah, that's why it was interesting actually in the stats and the research, our UX research, and also that the actual users ratio was like much higher in Twitter, while every world is like having more users for YouTube and Instagram.
Because for lower data consumption.
Yes,
They also use a lot of Facebook, a light version.
exactly. Do you have any more questions? We have some time, but if you don't, we can finish earlier and enjoy some lunch earlier. Thank you very much.